To the Take the Two podcast, heading into round 7, brought to you by Neds. You can follow along with all of my bets, all the About Even boys and everything on the Neds app this week and for the rest of the season. My 5'8", my co-host, partner in crime. How are you, mate?
I'm very well. Bit of a rap to you too. I've been watching the podcast you've been on, the About Evens, is it?
Yeah, I'm going like a bastard, but
Yeah, you've had a couple. You guys have been in and around it.
they've been in and around. I've been
You're on
average.
it.
I'm
Mate,
on
just
it.
take the rap.
I'll take the rap. But
When the team's winning,
I'm a big accountability guy, though. You know,
when your team's winning and you're just doing your job, but you're a little bit below your standard, it's okay to take a rap, mate.
Yeah, look, I won the title last year. I'm looking to go back to back, but it's you think the Panthers are in trouble?
I'll tell you who's not in trouble, me, with the new merch.
The OG CBA got his CBA merch arrived this week. You got it before me, you bastard.
I know.
How good's that?
Well, mate, why was that a surprise? Why was that a surprise? And Ned and Usala, this
How
iconic
good.
moment.
Unreal.
Yeah.
They're good gear.
They are good gear. You can go on to RLW, wherever they are.
Unreal.
But I just love that when she does the war cry and just leads the girls. That for me is really cool.
It's an
I've got a
unreal
Nathan.
moment, eh?
Yeah, I got a Nathan Blacklock one too.
Yeah,
after he does
cracker.
the flip.
Fuck, couldn't he play?
I'd love to get one of you.
Of me?
Yes.
I'll tell you what, I won't be doing.
What would you want to
flip.
be doing?
I think I'd just be sitting here, probably with a Pepsi Max in hand.
Oh,
just in my
mate,
element.
you've lost me.
Watching Super Saturday.
You've lost me.
With my Supercoach team in my hand. How good. Mate, let's rip the scab off it. Lachlan Galvin. It's been a huge week. We've sort of spoken by text a little bit, but I haven't really got your entire thoughts on it. I don't know where to start. I don't know where you want to finish, but I'm just going to sort of hand it to you. Talk to me about Galvin and what you've seen this week.
Yeah, well, there's a couple of moving parts to this. I think the narrative around the Tigers making a decision, so what you said on Bloke, I totally agree. They had to be strong here. They had to make a decision for the future of the club. They've recruited really, really well. The club's going well. They've got good leaders. They've got good managers, all that kind of stuff. The social media stuff, the last 24 hours for me, I think is probably a little bit on the nose in terms of, you know, I can understand you supporting the club and all that kind of stuff. The Jerome one, and then, yeah, when you send a private message these days, it's not really private, but
Yeah, and that, the Jerome one, I'm actually behind that because it's about the club. It's about supporting the club and pushing forward. The Taruva one, I can't make any time.
to
for
be
that
fair
whatsoever.
though, that may have been sent in the WhatsApp.
I don't give a fuck if it was.
Yeah. Anyway, that's neither.
Yeah.
I think that's
Yes.
a side note to what we're seeing. The thing I thought about coming in to record the pod was it's all about the timing. You know, having been a player, having had one manager my whole life, which was Sam Ayub.
Yep.
You talk a lot about timing, when to approach the market, all this kind of stuff. I just can't get my head around why now you had to make this decision. Even if the Tigers were pushing the button and saying, mate, we want to sign you. I think if you came to a mutual agreement of, let's just push this down the road a little bit. The club's going really, really well. And it's a benefit for you as well, because if Galvin comes out for the next 6 to 8 weeks and they are in the top 4, don't worry about paying him $1 million. You have to pay him 1.3 if that's what he decides to do. I just found the timing of it weird, and now you're trying to wrestle who's got momentum in terms of winning the media battle. But I looked at it from that point of view. I thought the timing was really bad from, you know, whoever was in charge of those conversations, whoever leaked it, which leaks in rugby league happen every single day.
Especially there.
Especially there.
Yep.
And it's just taking the gloss off what's been such a great start to the season for them. And they just can't get out of their own way now. And we've said this privately, text. They're a team we watch every week because we know Terrell May's going to play 70 minutes. Jerome Luai's going to do something, you know, leadership-wise. Yeah, Taruva's going to score a try. Like, all this kind of stuff. It's just taking the gloss off it, and I feel sorry. People I feel sorry for the most is Tigers fans. Now, I had a love-hate relationship. You know, never loved them. Only probably the last 6 weeks. But the fans, they've just gotten to like, okay, we look like we're going good. We've got this, we've got that. Now we're getting a 19-year-old make a decision 18 months out, which is now it's untenable. There's no way I thought about it. I said maybe he gets back in if he re-earns the trust. After what we've seen this week, there is no way that he gets back in that team for the rest of the year.
But, mate, I think it's very evident he doesn't want to get back in it.
No. But,
Like,
but this is... Now, you may as well not have contracts because if you're unhappy or you get a deal somewhere else, because we all know that everyone's talking... I mean, you hear things around the traps. Oh, that person could get that there.
Yep.
He's not happy. He could get out of that. Like, it's not hard to get out of a contract, and it's never been more evident what we're seeing right now in rugby league. That's not the player's fault. It's not the manager's fault. It's just the way it is.
Yeah. I think regardless of who you want to point the finger at in this situation, the system is broken.
I haven't got a problem.
Yeah.
I haven't got a problem in not blaming anyone there. I'm just confused that now for Lockie, what happens and how does everyone judge? Because if he gets picked up by another club, ex-club, do they have to put him in the cap at what they would pay him in the future? You can't just put him, if he was to leave and go to another club now, you can't put him in at 350 because your back end in the deal is going to become like NFL.
Yeah.
Where you're back ending a deal and you're going to get salary cap, and you've done nothing. All you've done is said to the manager, hey, mate, I reckon I could get him for, if he comes here, mate, we're 1.2, we've got this, we've got that. Oh, okay. Shit, well, we only get one here. You've got to put him in the cap next year. If he's to leave the club this year, you have to put him in the cap next year at $1 million.
Is there a world, and I've only just thought about this then, is there a world where the Tigers were well and truly aware he wasn't going to stay? They've offered him the $1 million to know that then his value and he goes somewhere else is going to be fucking enormous?
Maybe.
Because it changes the conversation now.
Well, there's the other part I was going to say is, geez, you get into murky waters when leaks come out about what was said in the meeting about the coach.
Yeah.
Benji's a young coach that's learning.
Yep.
And people would say, right now in his first 2 full years of coach, last year, tough year, they recruit really well. Not many young first-year coaches or second-year coaches can get a 4-time premiership winner, halfback, to come to your club.
Yep.
We saw Wayne start a new club, couldn't get guys to go up to the Dolphins in terms of that calibre.
Yep.
Missed out on a couple. Got some great guys up there, and it's not a shot at Wayne. It's more around he's been able to get those people in terms of your development. And then the other part of it, Roo, is like we're just going down every alley now. Like this is going to derail their season. I thought the way that Manly handled DCE, that has had an effect the last couple of weeks. They have not played like they did against the Raiders. Now this Monday becomes crucial. If Tigers go out there Monday, senior players step up, they win, it goes to bed. If they don't, and Moses comes out and does Mitch Moses things and Para win, guess what, Tigers fans? Another week in the soap opera. And
to one of your favourite points in rugby league that I thought about immediately this week, Parramatta's got the bye the week after. So they are going to be up and about for this.
Hey,
Moses
boys.
back in, Jack Williams back in.
What do I say? Hey, boys, win Monday. We'll get on the piss Tuesday. We'll have recovery. We'll sign some jerseys. I'll give you a couple of days off. We'll recharge. We'll start the season. We've got our 7 back.
Dangerous spot to be in.
I did have a weird thought, though.
Yep. Oh, these are my favourite. Hit me.
Oh, it may even be a segment in the future. Who says no first? It's a 3-way phone call. Okay? It's a menage a trois.
Yeah.
Tigers, Eels, Knights are on the phone.
Yep.
It's a 3-way. We want Lachlan Galvin to go to Para right now.
Yep.
Para say, great. Dylan Brown, you can go to the Newcastle Knights now. Tigers go, well, we can't miss out on that. We need probably another edge back rower potentially. Would you agree that that's an area that they could still fill out?
Yeah, I think it's one spot they could fill out, yeah.
Tigers say, we're happy with that. Everyone's sweet. We'll move on. We want KPP or Dylan Lucas. Who says no first? Let me know in the comments. Who says no first?
I think Newcastle say no to Lucas in a heartbeat, but KPP I can see.
Winston?
Welcome in, by the way, Wince. Good to have you again, brother.
Yeah, thanks for bringing me back. I feel like Knights probably wouldn't let Lucas go, but as Guru just said, KPP probably could be let go. And then like Knights are saying yes to Brown. I think Eels would let Brown go to bring in Galvin, and I think Tigers would probably he's only playing Cup anyway, so they probably let him go to bring in
It
KPP
solves
potentially
so many problems for everyone. It puts to bed everything that whatever happens in the future, the Knights get their halfback that they're going to have for the next 10 years. we're hearing strong rumours about Parramatta and Lockie pairing up with Mitchell Moses. They get a chance to put that at the start. And the Tigers, who are going well at the moment, get another quality player. And mate, can you imagine Kaipius Paul in that team, in the Tigers team?
Yeah.
The X factor. They'd have Fainu one side, they'd have KPP the other side, and you got Seyfarth just being an absolute menace in the middle. Who says no first? Let me know in the
Yeah, leave in the comments. Let us know. I don't mind it. Three-way. We don't see it very often. Have we seen it?
No, I don't think we have. But NBA trades happen very often. I just think it diffuses so much. Media will hate it because there'll be nothing to talk about because there's no ongoing drama. You get a young kid who's made a decision for his future, both young kids, out of the way, and you get Kaipius Paul an opportunity to play under Benji Marshall, which I'm sure we would have watched on YouTube growing up. Who says no?
With Lachlan Galvin. And look, he has done, I think it's very important to get this out there at the start. Like, he's done nothing wrong, realistically. Technically, he has done nothing wrong. Would you have any concerns if you're a club that's going to sign him based on just how this week has played out, that there has been so much noise around and whatnot? Or would that not concern you just because of how talented he is?
Well, no, because the clubs that have pushed for this, wherever it is, wherever it comes from, would be pushing for it. Like that, he's not going in turning down $6 million if something else isn't being whispered somewhere. So there's no concerns over that. The only thing I think, Lockie, looking back, I just would have pushed it down. There's no rush whatsoever. I'm on contract next year. I'm going to get an upgrade. But he must be feeling uncomfortable in those circles. Yeah, maybe hearing what's out there, maybe not, I don't know. But it just all seemed very weird, the timing of it all.
Yeah, and I think as well, like, the whole argument about, like, his development. Like,
mate, you're 19. I had no idea what I was doing at 19.
But also, mate, like, fuck me. Like, if it's about your development and you're saying I'm not going to be there, that means you're going to be somewhere else. Legally, you can't know where you're going to be, apparently.
Yeah.
How do you know the place you're going to that you haven't spoken to, that you know nothing about, is going to be better for your development than where you are now? Like, the whole thing's just a clusterfuck.
So what if he was to say, I'm going to Melbourne, right?
Well, he can't.
No,
because
but I'm
shouldn't
just
have
saying,
fucking spoken to them.
Right,
Yeah.
he shouldn't have.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
We know.
We know, yeah,
we
yeah,
know.
yeah. Yep.
If you know, you know. Craig Bellamy's, yeah, mate, I'll develop. Mate, Craig Bellamy goes, I don't want to coach anymore. And they get in a rookie coach. And he goes, oh, shit. Like, that's what stinks for
Yes.
Tigers fans, because you're like, you know. And I want them to earn as much money as possible. But now it's just become, it's not even become about Lachlan Galvin, the football. It's become about the social media, who's winning, who's losing. Like, at the end of the day, we should be talking about the Tigers, how well they've recruited this year, how well these guys are playing, and how they sit in the 8. That's what we should be talking about. We haven't mentioned it once. I listen to a lot of podcasts. You know this.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about it once. We're just talking about where's he going to go. So in the, who says no first, mate, everyone's a winner. There's no losers in that 3-way.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. We'll see how it plays out with Galvin. We'll get to it at the end of the show, but just off the top of the dome, mate, who do you think wins this one, Parramatta or Tigers this week?
I said Tigers, and then Mitch Moses. Yeah, I think they'll have to go up a level from what they did last week, the Tigers. I thought that early on it was two teams, and this will sound very stupid, that didn't want to lose. They weren't really going out there to win the game. Yep. And then all of a sudden they clicked into gear on that right edge. Taruva scored another try. Yeah, Terrell, mate. We're going to talk about Origin forward packs. Mate, he might be first picked.
Yeah, we are going to get to that very soon. We're going to pick our Blues forward pack and our bench there as well. So brace yourself for that.
But
yep,
Mitch Moses is in the top 3 halfbacks in the game. Maybe top 2.
I think top 2. Yep.
He wins you. If you at the start of the year said, mate, he's going to come back with 15 games left, 16 games left, he wins at least 5 or 6 by himself.
Yeah.
In terms of where he gets everyone and his compete.
Yeah. And he automatically elevates their best players.
Big crowd, Jerome.
I really like Parramatta in this game. I reckon they'll get up.
Side note, is this a battle for the number 6 for the Blues? Has that been talked about? Is this Jerome v Mitch Moses for the number 6 for Blues?
Well,
I've got Luai. I think that combination I said last week on the show. You've got You had Moses. Did you have
Yeah,
Moses?
well, mate, I mean, fuck. Teams get picked in, 4 weeks? What if Penrith they've lost 8 games in a row by that point?
Tedesco might be back.
At 2 games in a row lost, you would have said, 5 in a row is fucking stupid. Why are we having that conversation? But we're here now. It's.
Do you think the winner, like if Jerome comes out and does Jerome things and Mitch just has an absolute blinder, is this, but West Tigers
I
win?
think Laurie Daly, if they're both on even tilt, I think he would lean towards Mitch personally.
Kicking game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I even just think his demeanour, his approach to the game, I just reckon that would more suit
He better
Laurie.
be there in the flesh for that game.
Yeah.
If not,
If not, something's gone horribly
Maybe you
fucking
should go.
wrong there. All right. Speaking
what a
of,
start. Line speed.
we've hit the ground running. I love it. Let's talk about it. We're talking about halfbacks, mate. Hugo Savala made his run-on debut last week for the Roosters. Really good win. I'd argue they don't win that game of football without his kicking game out there. You don't want to hear me talking about fucking kicking game, though, whilst I got you here. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, no argument here. With all due respect to Chad, the long kicking game and the selection of kicks from Hugo was really, really important. And you look at the way he started the game. I think he had a bad pass to James Tedesco out the back early, which would have put some pressure on him, but didn't fluster him. He kept kicking to the plan. They were kicking down that right corner. And for me, it was the last 15, 20 minutes where Walsh didn't actually catch the ball. And if you look at a couple of Hugo's kicks, he actually kicks early and finds the ground. We don't see it a lot often. And I've spoken about on regular podcasts with you about the timing of the kick, when to go to ground. And what happens when you put the ball to the ground, some fullbacks attack it when they're fresh. You saw when Reece started to get tired, he started to go around,
tracking around
to get the ball, track around to get the ball.
Yeah.
So what he's doing is he's tracking back. Hugo's kicked early. Oh, shit, I'm by myself. Wingers aren't back, so he can't dish it off. He tracks around to get the ball. He looks up, and the Roosters' kick chase is Nat Butcher, Connor Watson, who didn't stop. He'll be picked. The middles, all those guys coming down. Angus Crichton just condensing the line the whole time. The last 2 balls Reece didn't catch. And Ben Hunt sprayed him for it, and it was like, the game's still on here, 26-16. We've got a chance to win the game. I just thought it was from a guy that had never had a run on, and we'd only just heard about this year. I thought it was a really mature, smart kicking game, which time and time again, he trusted his first instinct. And it was no more evident than when he kicked early. We never see it from young kids. Cleary's the exception. Take him out.
Yeah.
Katoa's got a little bit of it. But I just thought big stage, Brisbane, Friday night, 50,000. You've got every reason to kick one out in the full. And the kid just stood up. And it was just an absolute masterclass.
I've watched Hugo play quite a bit because he's been playing Cup the last 2 years. He plays straight after Josh's game. So I've watched him at Wentworth Park on probably 8 or 9 occasions, and I always thought he's solid. I didn't expect him to have that sort of impact. I didn't expect him to look that comfortable, which is very, very impressive.
Against a big pack. Like the narrative around Brisbane is they've got, I still think they're my pick to win it. I think they've got some improvement in them, but physicality-wise, if you can match it with them and a good kicking game, you're going to put yourself in position to win the game. And that's all you can ask. If you had said, we're going to go up to Suncorp with a starting number 7 that's never started before, and he's going to kick as well as he kicked, and with 20 to go, it's going to be 18-16 to us, mate, Trent Robinson would take that every day of the week and oppose another thought. Walker Savala. Big body, still developing. He may end up in the back row at 13, but long kicking game, which Sam Walker's got a great short kicking game.
Yeah.
Long kicking game when you're coming out of your end and you're up against your own 20. Savala can just absolutely rip one and kick it 60, 65.
Yeah, I think Sandon Smith's obviously been in the system for a while. I think he's sort of destined for that 14 jersey once they're all fit.
Mate, and there's nothing wrong with that. I love Docker Clay. I think he's been a stalwart. He's a veteran. He's been around. He knows how to play the game. Connor Watson for 30 minutes and then put him to 13 and Sandon Smith out of dummy half where he doesn't have mate, the Roosters could reset and go and win it next year. With some more experience, like if they don't next year, then definitely 2027. But Savala, he was just so impressive. Didn't try and overcook the ball. Didn't try and, we see kids try and kick in the in goal and find the in goal. He's like, no, I'll just put it inside that 10. in the cage area, you turn around and you go and track and get the ball.
Mate, there's not many guys that would be able to walk away from a game, let alone their first run-on game, and say, I outkicked Ben Hunt or I outkicked Adam Reynolds. Very slick classic and say I outkicked Adam Reynolds and Ben Hunt at Suncorp.
Yeah.
Pretty fucking incredible.
It was, honestly, it was probably one of my favourite performances of the week, and we had some special moments, but that's just, for a young kid to stand up in that moment. I've played at Suncorp. I know the crowd's on top of you. You make one mistake, and that pass early could have rattled him. It didn't.
Yeah.
And the Roosters, they've shown glimpses of this. Can they back it up this week? Can they back it up in 2 weeks' time against the Dragons Anzac Day?
I'll tell you what, it's a real show of the Take the Two podcast, the sort of show, it'll be the only show in the world where the headline act will be a halfback that got no try assists, no attacking stats whatsoever on the weekend, but just death by 1,000 cuts with his kicking game. Which we fucking froth.
That's where we're for the nuffies.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ones that want to educate themselves.
I'm here for it. Fantastic. All right, let's move to now our question of the week. We obviously went through our Blues backline last week. We're going to go through our forward pack here and obviously including our bench as well and talk about what we think it will look like. Obviously a few weeks away, plenty of water to go under the bridge and whatnot. There'll be injuries, there'll be suspensions, there'll be shit fuckery all over the place. But as it stands right now, mate, we'll start with the big boys up front. I would be starting with Payne Haas, and I'd be debuting Terrell May with him in the front row.
Correct. Yeah.
You're the same?
There's no reason as you wouldn't have two guys that could go 70 in Origin, which is, I played in the game. Paul Gallen played 80 minutes in 2011, game 2.
Yeah.
And we just couldn't believe it. Someone in the front row had played 80 minutes. Yeah, 80 minutes played in the front row. These guys could play 80 if they had to.
Yep.
They won't have to, but they could play 70 easy at Origin. May and Haas for me.
Hooker. I heard Laurie Daly last week come out with some comments around how Robson isn't like an absolute certainty for this side. I thought Robson came out and he was incredible against South the other night. He looked great. Robson's
Why do we have to do that? Why do we have to, like... It's the elite level of the game. If you're the bet, like... We know Nathan Cleary's going to be the halfback. We don't have to say, oh, well, we'll just wait and see what... Mate, just say, yeah, Nathan Cleary's going to be my halfback. You don't think Billy Slater's there going, mate, they're going to... Oh, I wonder if they don't pick Robson. Like, Billy doesn't care. He's just... Robson should be the 9. He did a great job last year. Him and Connor Watson duo was fantastic. And then he comes out and plays like that. The subtle messaging around, like, I just don't get it, mate.
So, but like from a fan's perspective, and I haven't been in the same seats you've been in, scenes like, I looked at him and went, okay, well, Robson came out of the weekend and played his best game of the year.
He wouldn't have seen the comments at all.
Oh, bullshit, he wouldn't have seen them.
Would not have seen them, mate. They're in Perth.
What, he doesn't have a fucking phone? He's not relying on pigeons to get the message.
I can tell you right now, if Reece Robson's relying on Laurie Daly to fire him up for a game over against South, over in Perth, then Reece Robson is in guys.
I'm not saying he's relying on it, but surely, like, I reckon he almost definitely would have seen that.
Yeah, but that's going to be your future coach. It's not like it's another coach that said, oh, well, yeah, he's a bit overrated or anything like that. That's, mate, nah. Would not. I'm telling you.
Nah, I'm pushing back on you on that for sure.
Mate, when Ricky Stewart picked me, he rang me 6 weeks out of Origin and said, mate, you're going to be the 5'8". And I was like, oh, are you sure? Like this far? He goes, mate, you're going to be... He was sold on me being the 5'8" that straight away. I don't need any motivation. You can't tell me they haven't had conversations where it's like, Reece, yeah, you're going to be in the squad.
I'm not convinced they would have. Like, based on how Laurie Daly did it last time he coached, no one had any fucking idea.
They won the series last year. Why mess with it?
Yeah, no, I'm not fucking arguing with you. It wouldn't surprise me if that's how it has played out, though.
I just don't think you need subtle messaging at this level. Okay. You don't need subtle messaging about, like, we're looking at you. Like, of course, you should be watching every game.
All right, second rowers. I have got Liam Martin. He is an automatic for me, regardless of form, whatever the fuck's going on. He's in my side. And my other one, I've gone for Olakuatu. What are you going for?
Liam Martin's a right edge player, so I've got him locked in.
Yep.
And for me, I don't think you mess with... I mean, you said a couple of weeks ago that Angus Crichton is the best back row in the world. Mm-hmm. So you don't have him starting in New South Wales.
No, I don't. I've got my reasonings for that.
Yeah, that's fine. So I'm going to go Angus Crichton. I think last week, big stage. He's been there. Yeah, for me, he knows what Origin is. He knows where he has to get around, and he's done the job. You got 2 enforcers either side that can protect your halves. I've got Crichton and Martin.
Yep, nice. Isaiah at 13?
Yes.
Yep.
And,
okay.
and captain.
And captain. Yep, back that. 14, Connor Watson?
Correct.
Sweet. All right, my 3 guys after that, I've gone for a bit more of a mobile pack. I've gone for Mitch Barnett. It's one of my benchies.
Tick.
I've gone Angus Crichton there. And then my guy that I just think I just have to find a spot for him is Hudson Young.
Yeah, I've got Watson, Hudson Young, Mitch Barnett, and Spencer Leniu.
Yeah.
I think that what we saw the other night is you need villains in this game, and that's okay. That you're not everyone has to be liked.
Yep.
And that crowd at Queensland, if they're focused on Spencer and he's able to just rip and tear off the bench for 15 to 25 minutes, give Terrell, give Payne Haas a spell, I think that could be an X factor for New South Wales.
So my logic with Angus off the bench, mate, I'd like him. He can play middle. He can play edge. I think Olakwatu is just more of an out and out edge, and I would rather have him there. Bring Angus off the bench, and as you said, mate, between Haas, May, Yo, 3 guys that could play 70 minutes. I'm not sure if I need another. I mean, I guess Mitch Barnett kind of is an out and out front row. He has played on the edge before, but I'm sort of happy to run with that bench there. A little bit more mobile.
Well, Barnett's played on an edge, but my pushback on your side would be, is Olakwatu playing on the right?
No. Oh, yes, sorry. Yeah, he would. So I'd have Liam Martin on the left.
So you break up that Cleary-Martin combo at Origin, potentially Toto on that edge as well.
Well, yeah, Toto on either side. But yeah, I would be looking to break up that combo. Yeah.
No, just double check.
I've seen Liam Martin play both sides of the ruck there. I'm okay with him. Yeah, it is a fair point, though. But yeah, I just think with that bench, I can get a little bit more mobility out of them.
I can give you the exclusive. Martin will be next to Nathan Cleary.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be. This is my team, though.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not Laurie Daly. Fuck that guy.
Just do a subtle message.
Guru's team.
I love this part. I honestly love coming and recording.
I'll tell you what, mate. The other one that I couldn't find a spot for him, but I would love to find a spot for him. And I think you would have to have Spencer Leniu in front of him because of what he did last year. But, geez, Lindsay Smith is impressing me week in, week out.
He's one of our favourites, isn't he?
Yeah.
We need some little... he's not a CBA. I mean, he's there. He's arrived.
There. No, he's well beyond.
Australian.
Yeah.
Front row last year. It may even come down to him and Barnett, to be honest. I think the thing that's probably counting against Lindsay this year is he's started, he's been off the bench, he hasn't really found a rhythm. And the expectation of what we know he can deliver at his best is super, super high. And he's got no 2 bigger fans than me and you. But that may play against him. They don't really know whether he's a starter or not. I think if he has a big game this week and they're able to get back, if he was to come out and absolutely rissole that Roosters pack.
Yep.
Potentially puts him back in front.
Let's say May or Haas is out for whatever reason. What would you do then? Would you move Spencer Leniu to the front row or would you still keep him off the bench and maybe bring in a Smith?
Yeah, I'd put Barnett straight up front.
You put him straight in?
Straight swap. Leniu and Lindsay Smith.
Let me throw this one at you. Isaiah Yo's injured for whatever reason. Cam Murray's not available. What would you do with that jersey 13 all of a sudden?
I think you could start with 3 middles. I'd probably start Barnett there.
Yep.
And then just bring Connor Watson.
Just let him play
into that 13 role. And if Robson needs a spell, he needs a spell. But yeah, I don't think overthinking it too much. Have you got another suggestion?
No. I was just thinking, I think it's just such an automatic thought that it's him or Cam Murray. Over the years, Cam Murray was unavailable. But yeah, I was just throwing it off the dome.
Yeah, well, is Josh King?
You mentioned him the other day. He's playing some fucking good footy,
New South Welshman.
Pretty sure he is.
Yeah.
I think he's. Yeah, actually, he is. He's from Newcastle.
The other day, I've been for a guy. I mean, he's down in Melbourne. He gets the big 4 get all the raps, and rightly so at times. But mate, you can't do it without him. Luiro's a walk-up starter probably for Queensland this year off the bench.
Yeah,
King for me.
I've said it before on the podcast, mate. My best mate, he grew up in Newcastle. He reckons that Harold Matt's an SG ball. Josh King didn't make the sides in any of them. He was always in the final squads and then got cut. Always got cut, and now he's fucking...
The other one that we didn't talk about that might be if you pick up an injury is Jacob Preston.
Yep, has to be considered.
Bulldogs fans, happy?
Leave him out of Origin. I want him playing club footy.
Yeah. See, mate, they're never happy, Bulldogs fans. They're never happy. Can I tell you a story quickly? I went to Belmore the other day to call Bulldogs silk tails.
How did you get out alive?
Bulldogs silk tails, right? Walked in. No one was
tires left on your
was
car?
there when I walked in. Got the first pie out of the tuck shop. Got someone else to have a bite first to just make sure it wasn't poison. Right? Went down and saw the gear stewards for the first grade side.
Yeah.
And he said, first thing, he said, how'd they let you in here? I said, mate, I'm working. It's not... He goes, mate, remember when you took that dive? I said, mate, it was 16 years ago. I said, go and have a look at some of the efforts of blokes from that. I said, love Josh Reynolds. Grub took way worse dives than that. And I didn't even hit the ground. I just threw my arms up. Unbelievable Dogs fans.
As far as like problems in the modern game, like diving shits me, the 7 tackle set, like a lot of this sort of comes back to you just.
Oh, you would.
I would.
Insert Ned's ad break here.
Oh, you ruined our game, mate. How dare you? Unbelievable. All right. Anything else you want to touch on there with the Blues?
No, I think that there's, the thing about, I mean, game 1, it's up there, isn't it?
Yep.
So game 2 is in Perth.
Yeah, game 2's in Perth, yeah.
Mate, if New South Wales are going to win the series, they have to win game 1 because game 2 over in Perth has been such a happy hunting ground for us. They need to get game 1. I just don't think you can go over to Perth with the series on the line, and then bounce back and try and short turnaround. Yeah, Billy would have learned a lot about last year.
Yeah, fucking oath. Yeah.
And he's such a smart brain, mate.
As far as guys like, just before we do move on, guys like if I was to build a squad for each game and I was to have those jerseys, 19 to 22, guys I'd love to give some experience to. Jacob Preston would be one.
Yep.
Dylan Lucas would be one.
Mm-hmm.
Toby Couchman would be one for me.
Yep.
I'd love to get him in there.
Need some backs in there, though.
Yeah, for sure. But
backs. I think
they're sort of the guys that, for me, I look at and I go, fuck, I would just love to give you guys a taste.
Yeah, Jacob Kraz would be one. I think if you had 19, 20.
Close to the side if Lomax isn't back. And I don't think Lomax is going to be back.
Yeah, don't forget they got to fit Crichton in there as well. Crichton might play on the wing.
Yeah, but I mean, if they're going for a like for Lomax, Kiro's going to be hard to beat in that regard.
Yeah, I just the centre makeup's going to be so interesting. Like what you do.
I don't think I can pick Critter not at centre. I think he's an automatic.
So it'll be Critter
and Latrell for me.
And who plays on the left? Latrell.
Yeah, Latrell will be on the left. Critter will be on the right for me.
And then your wingers will be Carraz and...
Well, Toto, if Turbo's available, I'm picking Turbo, but fuck knows where we're going to be at with that, realistically.
Interesting.
Then probably
You know
Kiraz
what I
is
love
the
about
next
this
guy.
podcast? That we never talk about Queensland players.
I
always find it really, really weird that, like, I scroll on Instagram and, like, we're asking Jonathan Thurston who the halves for New South Wales should be, and he's on the staff.
Yeah.
Or, Darren Lockyer, like, you sit there, you're just chatting, and it's like, oh, who do you think the front row should be for New... What? They're Queensland greats. Just talk about Queensland team. We'll talk about New South Wales team.
Should we talk about Queensland next week, maybe?
New South Wales 3-0.
Should we maybe go through Queensland next week? Because I think they have got a few interesting conversations in there.
I won't be doing it.
You won't be contributing?
No, I don't. It's state...
Mate, you're here for them, not for you, okay?
I'm here for you guys. I won't be picking the Queensland team out of respect to letting them pick their own Queensland team. Imagine that. You get into camp and Billy goes, all right, boys, we're just going to throw up a team of what Sowie thought it was. I'm a big fan of Take the Two. Him and Guru have come up with a Queensland side.
Yeah, I've got some bad news for some of you.
Yeah.
Unlucky.
Some nuffy that we used to pepper down at Olympic Park for 10 years has come out and said something.
All right, let's go where we were right, where we were wrong last week. Throw to you first because you fucking nailed that first game.
Yeah, I was right on the Dolphins. Again, I've said the luxury of being in 15 tipping comps is you're probably going to have a bet each way in terms of tipping, of course. I was right. I'm so confused, this defensive system that we're seeing from Penrith, and a lot's been made about guys haven't spent time under Cameron Ciraldo, and they've still been found a way. Cameron Ciraldo's been gone for 3 years.
Yeah.
They've dropped Tungle this week to the bench. Be interesting to see what the Penrith bench make up this week. But just some of the decision-making on an edge has been really, really poor. I tossed up to you. I mean, I've been on the Brad Schneider for weeks.
Yep.
He should be the 6. I put in the Patreon group the other day. I don't know. I can't see it, but what were the comments like to this? Mate, Dylan Edwards practically played 6 last week.
Yeah, people didn't mind it.
I would have... I mean, if you're not going to play Schneider for whatever reason, Dylan Edwards moving probably a little bit slower, coming back from injury. Great communicator, great frontline defender. Every time someone he makes a tackle, I don't see why you wouldn't have him at 6 and Blaze Talangi at 1.
You'd play Blaze at 1 over having Dane Laurie there?
Yeah, why not? I mean, you've bought him for a reason. The puzzling thing for me about Penrith, Roo, is if you bought him to be your 6 and he wasn't ready by having 3 months together, what makes him ready 3 weeks or 4 weeks later? And then you come up and, I mean, he was okay the other night. He's going to take time, but if it's going to take time, don't you just play him there from round 1 and he learns on the go and he's 6 weeks into the experiment, you can find out.
To be honest, I think played okay is probably generous too. I thought
but that's what I'd be. I mean, Dylan Edwards is a competitor. You know that he's going to communicate. Maybe they just because they need someone on the edge that's like played footy and understands big moments and can go, you get to hear, because half the time everyone runs the same shape, it's just a different name. But you can talk your way out of things at times. You can put people, hey, come here, it's coming out the back, I've got the lead, you go out the back. And all of a sudden, there's half of you, oh shit, they know we're running a block here. We're just going to, maybe I'll turn it back inside. Or let's get up hard here, let's put pressure on, like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The Penrith aren't doing that at the moment. Everything's getting sucked into the middle. They're losing the middle at the moment. It's putting pressure on their edges. But I was right about the Dolphins. I just thought the hammer, he looked engaged the week before, 2 on the bounce. I wouldn't be surprised if they made the 8.
Just on that Penrith system that you spoke about, mate, and you mentioned this a few weeks ago, and the more I watch it, the more I'm really surprised they're leaving Alamotti out on the wing still.
He's a centre.
Yeah, I really
he was at the Dogs as a centre, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was the centre all the way
prodigy
through.
centre coming through. I really thought when they brought Blaze in on the left edge to have him, Casey, Jenkins, and even Sorensen, like it's his first game back in X amount of weeks. I just thought, fuck, for a team that's struggling defensively on an edge, geez, you're not doing yourself any favours there.
No, and you don't have an edge captain.
Yeah,
because Sorensen's ass is hanging out because he's making 50 tackles.
Yeah,
usually it's your centre or your 5'8" or half, who's the edge captain who dictates when we get up, when we paddle, when we hold, when we take a short side in attack, all that kind of stuff. They've chopped and changed so much. Your 2 best centres are Isaac Tungo, who's going through whatever he's going through at the moment, and Paul Alamotti. Where they're trying to strengthen one side and making the other side weaker. Because you could, if you played Penrith this week and you saw Alamotti and Tungo in the centres, Sorensen and Martin in the back row, Edwards and Cleary, and then on the wings, full strength, you had To'o and McLean.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, okay. Well, that's probably their best side. Blaze at the back just running around. I think it's easier for Blaze to learn how to play off Nathan Cleary if he doesn't have to be second receiver all the time. In terms of he's having to organise an edge but fit into a system defensively and also get the attack of Nathan Cleary, who's going double play here, doubling up all the time. Whereas Edwards knows how, okay, he needs the ball here, that's fine.
Yeah.
Blaze can just run around and go, oh, shit, that's how I need to fit in here, that's how I need to go.
Mate, I even thought the other night, attacking-wise, I thought some of their best moments where they had good shape and everything almost looked like when Blaze was jumping into first receiver at times.
Yeah, well, again, you've got to evolve your attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just plug and play anymore.
Yeah.
This is different ways. How do you... And this is the other thing. I said when Dylan Brown signed, like him and KP need to live together. Like Adam O'Brien should go, hey, boys, I've rented a 6-month or 5-month Airbnb. You two are going to live together for 5 months and just get to know each other and be around each other, because Blaze wasn't ready. Now he's in there and Cleary's coming back trying hard to fit to what they need to win. It's hard to teach someone when you need to win.
Geez, the Brown KP condo would have a lot of trouble getting girls over, wouldn't they?
I think they're both happily got partners, mate. I don't want to get them in trouble here.
Shout out
if
to
you
the
were their
boys.
mates, you'd be doing.
You'd be seagulling.
Oh, wouldn't you? It'd be like loose chips on the beach.
It's unreal. Mate, as far as me getting things right, I might say I got the Melbourne tip right. Fuck me. The one that I did get right was the Tigers going up there to Newcastle. Felt confident on that one. Little did I know what was going to happen 8 seconds after that, but a good little win there. Where we got things wrong, mate, I was kind of bullish on both Perth games. I thought we were going to get 2 upsets there. I thought Manly and South Sydney would get wins. South Sydney weren't too far off the beat. I thought that Jack White and hip drop tackle really changed that game. Manly, though, fucking 24-18 is a huge compliment to the Seagulls, so I thought they were very average.
Yeah, I tipped both those. The one I got wrong, I think I tipped the Knights last week, just going off off memory. I just thought they'd have better. Their attacks Yeah, I know Jackson. Congratulations, Jackson Hastings, on the birth of his first.
Little Scotty.
Yeah, little Scotty. Beautiful. How he's not the halfback right now for that side is baffling me. And if you looked at them play, I called the game for 2GB. They need a distributor. They need someone that can say, hey, you get to the right post, I'm coming to you. Fletcher Sharp, I'm coming to you. 2 plays. Oh, you want it now? Great. Pass. Like Jackson, for whatever you think of Jackson Hastings, he doesn't need the ball. He's one of these guys that is a halfback that does not need the ball, which is fucking rare to find.
Yeah.
Someone that can go, hey, you get here. Like all the halfbacks like Cleary, Moses, they all need the ball to do what they can do. Jackson Hastings is big enough to go, I can run at you and run over you or play short, or play at the back to Fletcher Sharp or KP. They had 3 sets in the first 10 minutes where they didn't get the ball to KP. And this is going to be a problem going forward if you've got 2 guys that are like, your turn, my turn, oh shit, we're in trouble, oh, just kick it. Like, Hastings, he should be in the team this week. And if not, I've been on the nose with coaches. But if I'm the best option, you've got to do diligence to the team to pick me.
Yeah.
If the team's off me, it's the Galvin situation, maybe not. But at the end of the day, if I'm going to help you win, if I can come to you and say, mate, I can help you win, and I've got the runs on the board, why am I not getting picked? And if you're not going to pick me, just pay me out. Just pay me out.
Well, mate, that's the other thing. I think they're playing Jacko in reserve grade, hoping for him to eventually walk away. It's like, mate, getting paid a Motzer. He's just had a child. He's cruising.
Yeah.
He's not going anywhere. I haven't spoken to Jackson about it, but fuck.
It's not like their attack is scoring 30 points a week. They're scoring 9 points a week.
Yep.
When they scored 36 against Roosters in the trial, it was the Fletcher Sharp down the left edge. I remember your podcast because I texted you straight after and said, mate, and you said, credit to AOB, they've lent into how they want to play. It's going to be ragtag, Harlem Globetrotter, but we're just going to compete really hard in defence and we're just going to throw the ball around and get to KP and that's going to how it's be. Man, on the weekend, they didn't. Fletcher Sharp had a run in the second half and he looked dangerous. Don't mind that he's got an Australian centre outside him in Bradman Best who didn't get the ball at all. Like, oh, man.
They're a very frustrating footy side to watch.
But they've gone in the space of the way they started the year. I apologised for the first 3 weeks because I went, oh shit, maybe they've the injuries. I get it, but I don't see how their attack's going to evolve next year when Dylan Brown gets there.
Yep,
he needs the ball. He's a 6. You need someone to go, hey mate, here you go. What's that? Benny Hornby. What's that, Sarah? You're cooking. I'm going to let you cook. I'll just support and tackle and all that kind of stuff. They don't have it.
Yeah.
Who do they play this week?
Sharks.
Mate, up there, they'll get 30,000 or whatever it is again. They all stay. Credit to the Novocastrians. They stayed right to the end.
What.
Mate, it was 20-0 with 3 minutes to go. They stayed till the end.
Yeah.
But Sharks, mate, Will Kennedy might get 3 this week.
Had a good game on the weekend, Will Kennedy. Good to see. All right, should we get into the games?
Yeah.
Wince, do you want to take us through like you did last week, brother?
Yep, I can do
Sprung
that.
that on you. Shout out to you.
Yeah, I was very
Mate,
ready
he's
for
done
that.
nothing else but just spruik that
I know.
2004 Dogs jersey.
Just
Had to,
give
had
us
to.
Time, date, teams,
Yeah,
brother.
yeah, I got it here in front of me. Thursday, 8 p.m, Manly Dragons, 4 Pines Park.
So this one, we've got the Seagulls that are $1.62 on Neds. The Dragons are at $2.30 over there at 4 Pines, as we said. I like the Dragons for an upset here. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, after they played like that last week, it says upset, right? Manly coming back from Perth. They've had 3 games in 11 days. Everything goes against them. It just smells of Cherry Evans. It just stinks of Cherry Evans Thursday night, backs against the wall. I'm going to kick early for the first 5 sets. And I'm going to put pressure on you and see if you can go with us. But I can see the other side where the Dragons come out and blow them off the park.
I think...
Is Ola Kawatu in?
Yeah, he's in. Yeah, he's playing.
Oh, man.
I think Shane will
You've
be
just picked him in your
very
Oregon.
excited to come back to...
Oh, yeah. Flano's
That's the thing that I think this game will mean a bit to Shane.
Flano's up every week, mate.
Oh, every week, but I think there are weeks that mean a little more to him, as they probably should.
I'll say Dragons.
Yeah, $2.30 Dragons on Neds. I like the play there. Next game wins. Talk to me.
I I'll talk to you. Friday, 4 p.m. Dogs,
Whoa,
bunnies.
whoa, mate! You got to wear pants on this podcast. I mean,
Good Friday gets me up and about, Sowie. It's Dogs, Bunnies, Good Friday, 4 p.m. Accor Stadium, next to the Easter show. Best game on the rugby league calendar if you're a Dogs fan.
Doggies at $1.30 on Neds. The South Sydney Rabbitohs, $3.60 with Neds. I don't think you can tip against Canterbury, but I reckon this one will be tight.
Penrith South a couple of weeks ago, we said they'll exclusively go left.
Yep.
And put pressure on that right edge for Penrith. They did that.
Yeah.
They started fast. Cody Walker back.
We hope.
We hope for South fans.
We hope.
If he's in, that's a huge in. Yeah, on a big day. And if you're talking big day, big game players, well, there's probably no bigger than Latrell Mitchell right now, right?
Yes.
Well, last week, wore the 6, nearly pulled off a win over in Perth. You know, Bud played great, I thought. That's another side note. They're going to miss him. I've got Canterbury winning. They should win this game. This could be a little banana peel. They play the Broncos next week. And you could just see it being 6-0, 8-0, to South Sydney, and then you get in a little bit of a hole with your attack. You start making things up. I've got Bulldogs. Don't be surprised if South make a really good game of it.
Yeah, I think they. Cody Walker's there. I can see them making a real fist of it. I think Cody Walker had that injury. It was only 2 weeks ago. I wouldn't be surprised too. Like if Dottie's going to play halfback, if Wayne's just taking a bit of pressure off him.
Mate,
So he's not
you
getting
talk
talked
about
about this
debuts in the NRL. There's been no bigger than this kid.
Which is
I hope for his sake he has a blinder.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't, Bud's back in. That's it.
Yeah. Well, mate, if he doesn't have a blind here, he goes 3 halfback just deep again and maybe doesn't get another shot, I reckon.
Well, Humphries is back in 2 weeks. I think.
Humphries, yep. Cody
Right.
Walker will be back in the next 2 weeks. If he's not back for this game, he'll be back soon. So, yeah.
Dogs for me.
Dogs for me as well there. I think for South Sydney as well, a couple of big ins there, like Campbell Graham returning. I'm keen to see him on the wing as well. He's another one, mate. Like if he plays wing for the next few weeks.
Exclusively. We tipped it a couple of weeks ago. We'd had Latrell in the centres and Campbell Graham on the wing. I think we said Latrell maybe at fullback for some of that attack.
Yep.
But you don't need to now. We've seen Jai and the centre piece work. Mate, Campbell Graham, he started there. Forget how good he was.
He was fucking good.
He might be on the wing when he's at lowest.
I'm not ruling it out. If Lomax is out and Campbell Graham put together a good 6
Tottle's
weeks
out.
or so.
Hamstrings, mate.
If Campbell Graham plays right wing, which I think he will this week, will that put him up against Kiraz or not? No,
Kiraz on the other
Yeah,
side.
opposite.
Fuck, I'd love to see him go. You know who else I thought was really good for South Sydney last week? I don't know if your career overlapped with them or not. Ewan Aitken, his first game for the club.
Yeah, I played against him.
You didn't play with him?
No, I
Joe?
don't think so. No, 2013.
Thought there might
I
have been a
left.
year or two, but
Yeah,
probably
not sure. But talk about a guy that's just gotten the most out of
mate.
his body and
Yeah.
play physical. Yeah, last week scoring a try. He's played centre. He's just been a great player.
Mate, I went over to New Zealand last year to watch Josh play, and I went and visited the Wars, took the fucking Harold Matts trophy to them, and I was standing in the in their gym, right? They've got a wall of everyone that's won Player of the Year. So, it's Stacey, it's Ali, it's all these fucking legends, and then just sitting there, Ewan Aitken.
Yeah.
Fuck, I forgot you were even here.
Yeah. There's just 15 of Simon Mannering.
There's like huge.
And then-
it's Ruben Wiki for 8,
Yeah.
Simon Mannering for
Yeah.
8, and then just Ewan
And then
Aitken. I went,
just Ewan Aitken, and
fuck, I
then
forgot you were even here.
And then Simon Mannering, he retired. And then-
SJs and
SJ. Oh, sorry. No disrespect. We love that, but yes, he's had a great career.
A good player, very good player, Ewan Aitken. Okay, take us to the next game. Wins.
Finn Storm, Suncorp Stadium, Friday, 8 p.m.
Yeah, Storm, $1.22 favourites here. The Finn out at $4.40. Mate, fuck, the Dolphins, I think against any other team, I would say $4.40 is outrageous. But this Melbourne side, they're just humming at the moment. They just look a class above to me. I think the Dolphins get close, but I can't see them winning it, unfortunately. I imagine the start there's a pretty juicy one that I wouldn't mind swallowing up. 13.5, I would be taking that. But I think Melbourne's too good.
The only thing that worries me is if Jerome Hughes smokescreen doesn't play. We said exclusively here that if he's in against Manly, they'll win.
Yep.
And that's what happened. And he played probably man of the match.
Yep.
Dolphins have been better the last couple of weeks. They like playing at Suncorp. They get up for the big crowds. Can they win this game? course they can win this game. It's a two-horse race. I've got Melbourne winning, too professional, and that's something that we don't say too often about teams recently. It used to be Melbourne on the road, too professional. They just know how to be in these moments. They would have prepared.
Yep.
This is a game they can't let slip. All this kind of stuff. They've got to bank some wins before Origin as well because they're going to have a few out. Melbourne for me, but don't be surprised. I mean, Dolphins. What have they got to lose?
I think the other one with the Dolphins, I'm pretty sure JMK is not going to play in this one. I think he'll be ruled out. So huge out. I think you'll probably see Donahoe go to 9, which I'm excited just to see him play some rugby league. But JMK's, we know how influential he is to that side. Super Saturday, Winst?
No, it's not very super this week. No Saturday 3 p.m. game, but we go Saturday 5:30. Warriors Broncos in Auckland. Shout out to the names on the jerseys as well for the Broncos in this one.
Yeah, how good. You obviously can't have punting sponsors over there in New Zealand, so I think they've got Star as their back of their jersey sponsor. So they've taken it off and they've chucked the names on for this week, which looks fucking unreal for nuffies like us. I love that. Broncos $1.42 on Neds. The Warriors $2.85 on Neds. The Warriors with a couple of changes. I think a couple of positive changes and something like I'm concerned about Capewell playing centre. But, mate, seeing Leka Haliasima get an opportunity on the edge, I can't wait for that.
Big game for the Broncos.
Yep.
Big game for the Broncos. They've been out muscled a couple of times this year, Raiders and then on the weekend.
Yep.
And didn't have another gear to go to. And that's Michael Maguire also finding a balance of the X factor plays and players that they have on their side, but also rolling up your sleeves and being happy to win 10-8, 12-8 in a game that doesn't ever want that. The game's made to be 24-22 every week. This is a huge test for them. I've got the Broncos only because I'm just not sold on what they're doing at half and 5-8, the Warriors. Enough for me.
I think if the Broncos are fair income this year, I think there's no excuses in this game.
Agreed.
Apparently it's going to be wet. They've got the 2 best kicking games. Fisher Harris is out. There's a lot of things going against the Warriors here.
Yeah.
The Broncos.
Where's Tanner Boyd?
Mate, he travelled last week. He came over here, didn't play. But mate, tomorrow Mark's on the bench this week.
Such a weird buy for them when they've got 3 halves that they're obviously very keen on.
Yeah.
And you get him from. Geez, Gold Coast could use him at the moment.
Yeah, fucking hell. I really like Tomato Mountain. I like Tomato Mountain too. But Tanner Boyd, I just think kicking game alone. Geez, going up against Adam Reynolds and Ben Hahn.
Yeah, but he could even play 9 for you.
Play anywhere, yeah.
Like Wade Egan to 13 could even get something going. They missed Tohu Harris through the middle. They missed Dylan Walker. They haven't replaced that with their style. They haven't changed their style to what they've got at the moment. Geez, they were disappointing last week.
I do feel a little bit sorry for them in that regard that Tohu retired and Dill had to go home, and it's sort of, I guess it's their job to prepare for that.
It's your job to adjust your attack.
Yeah, oh, for sure. I'm just not sure if they have the personnel to be able to do it at the moment. Especially like that.
There's a couple of teams that are playing with not traditional halves. Titans, Warriors, Newcastle. You got to lean into what you're strong at.
For sure, but none of them are going overly well.
No, but they're not. They're trying to play Penrith. They're trying to play Melbourne. You've said it every week on your review. I'm happy for the way that they're playing at the moment. These teams aren't going to ever beat Melbourne. Melbourne couldn't out Penrith last year, and Melbourne.
Very fair.
Lean into your style. If it's ragtag, 15 errors, but we want to try and beat you 32-30. Holy shit, it's going to be a roller coaster, but at least we know who we are. There's only 3 teams that know exactly what their identity is.
Got their identity sorted. Yeah, fair.
And the next 4 teams that are going to make the 8 or 5 teams have got half of that. Like the Roosters on the weekend, they found their identity. Can they back it up this week against Penrith? We don't know. They could be Penrith. Roosters right now could be 6-1.
Brisbane. Winst.
Speaking of Chooks Penrith, that's where we go to Saturday 7:35 at the SFS.
Yeah, Roosters at $2.20 here. Panthers at $1.68. Mate, I have to go off what I say. I think the Roosters win this one.
Mate, I'm with you. Lock me in. Savala, I'll be watching, kid.
I think the Panthers.
I think I even gave him a follow on Instagram. That's how excited I was last Friday.
To Fluffy, Hugo Savala.
Yeah.
I like that. He would have appreciated that.
He didn't follow me back.
Cop that.
Riley Smith did, though.
Riley Smith's one of the great. Don't know Hugo personally.
I'm just going to go out of my comfort zone and just follow something. I don't follow like favourite players like Isaiah Cartol. I broke the code for because I'm a huge.
Why don't you
fan.
follow him? Just out of interest.
Oh, I
What's
just
the-
don't
what's the
want him to
logic?
think I'm. Is it glazing? Is that what they
I
kids
fucking
call
hate
it
that
these
term.
days?
Do you say glazing? Are you one of those guys?
He does.
no
Look at
comment,
him.
no
Look
comment.
how happy he was when you said glazing.
Oh, dipshits. Good God. Saying grown adults.
I just
say
want to
it,
be
I'm
able to
just
talk
like, fuck.
about players without someone going, "Oh man, you're glazing him." And we'll go, "What?" So, but I've broken it a couple of times. Hugo played 35 minutes.
I don't think you should do that. I don't think you should worry. If you like a guy, fucking
I
follow
followed him
appreciate
before
support
half
him.
time. That's
I
how
back that.
impressed I was.
Yeah, he would have been stoked. When he
Riley
did that.
Smith, I followed him. Got to follow back.
Riley Smith would have been stoked. He listens, he tunes in, he loves
Yeah.
it. Good man, Riley Smith. Doing good things. All right. Both
Roosters for me.
Yeah, I like it. Winst.
Oh,
Take me away, Glazer.
Just on the glazing and following as well. Sarah followed me during the week, so he must be glazing all over me.
glazing.
Appreciate
mate,
it.
first time I met this bloke was at Dragons, and he said, "My name's Winston," and I said, "Oh, Winston with a Y." And he goes,
First time I've
he
ever heard
goes,
that joke.
"What is that?" And I go, "Oh God."
Was that actually the first time you'd heard it?
Yeah.
No, I just said that.
Anyway, and then he goes, "I'm a Dogs fan." I said, "Mate, we're at the Dragons. We've employed you. Your arch enemy. We've employed you. This is so stupid." I said, "Get it." I said, "Are we paying this guy?" He goes, "No, his work experience." I said, "Thank God." So, only the Dragons would hire a Bulldogs super fan to do their social media.
I was just behind
Sunday
enemy
wins.
lines.
Talk to me. What do we got?
We've got 2 p.m. Titans Raiders on the Gold Coast.
Oh, mate.
Seriously.
I have not the slightest idea what goes on here. Titans at 2.10, Raiders at $1.75. I think I just back in the Raiders because I feel like I know a little bit more what I'm going to get, but I have no idea here.
Yeah.
Do you want to pick a name out of a hat or what?
Oh, mate, Hudson Young will score. He does every week. Tino back, which why they're so close in. Mate, I'm going to put my nuts on the line here. Raiders. Comfortably.
You're putting your nuts on the line?
They're my lock.
Lock. Oh, jeez. Okay, you are putting your nuts on the line.
Because Sticky, what time do they play?
2 p.m.
Mate, we'll get back to Canberra, boys. We've got a home game next week against the Dolphins. Is it?
No idea.
Yeah, they play the Dolphins next week at GIO on Sunday afternoon. Hey boys, let's keep the good times rolling. On the way back, we'll have a few beers.
Public holiday the next day.
Public holiday Monday. You can have boys, we'll get to Mooseheads. We'll sit in a corner and we'll tell each other how much we love each other. All right? And we'll look at the ladder and realise we're still in the top 4. Raiders for me.
Yeah, I'll back in the Durs as well. Next game wins. What do we got?
Sunday, 4 p.m. Night Sharks in Newey.
Bounce back in Newcastle. Knights at 3:35. Just as you think the Knights are down and out, they always fucking do this at home. I'm going to be on the bandwagon this week. Knights 3:35 at home. Talk to me.
No chance. Sharks for me. They learn about themselves last week, the Sharks. It's been a tough month for the Sharks, but they've been under the radar because we're talking about other teams. So impressed with Will Kennedy last week.
He was good, wasn't he?
That has to be his standard. If
Yes.
they are to win a competition, he needs to be in the top 3 players, and he can be. Trindle down the
I was going
right.
to say your boy. Oh,
Hello down the right hand side.
what about that nudge you put into the corner?
Down the right hand side.
That
Nico
kick.
on the left. Try assist. Sharks for me.
Knights in the upset there for me. Love them with the start up there at Newcastle. All right, last game of the week wins. Talk to me.
The game everyone will be watching this week, Eels Tigers on the public holiday Easter Monday.
Oh, boy. Tigers $1.70. Parramatta $2.15. I love the upset here for the Parramatta Eels. I think this one is throw form out the window. We'll see what happens. But I just think Mitch Moses. I think Jack Williams is a huge in for this side too. I like Parramatta. I think they'll get an upset here. I'm so excited, mate, to finally see Iongi get some good fucking ball.
Tigers for me.
Tigers? Why?
Mate, at some stage this year, you spoke off air about Penrith.
Yeah.
And you said, if we had said 2 in a row losses,
Yes.
okay, what's going on? It's 5 in a row. What the hell's going on? It's the total reverse for the Tigers. At some stage, we have to believe they've turned a corner. Last week, their best player, Jareen Buller. They have a front rower who's probably the form player in the competition in his position, and that's after Payne Haas's great start of the season in Terrell May. Eels don't have anyone in the forward pack that can go with him, that can do that. He's providing a platform for Fanua Bolle, Alex Twile. These guys come off the bench, Seyfarth. Yeah, I've got to believe this is a guy that at the Dragons we hated the Tigers. At some stage, I've got to give them the benefit of the doubt. This is that week. I've got to think that they will put all this shit aside. If you're going to come out and back up that you don't want a kid in the team, you got to come out and back it up with a win.
Yep.
Jerome Luai to me is a winner, mate. The kid was born to win. I've known him since he was 15. He's born to win, mate.
Did you have much to do with him? Like when he was that age, he was obviously in the Penrith system.
Maybe a little bit older. But yeah. No, he's...
did he win the Toyota Cup when you were there?
Yes.
Yeah.
His wife, amazing touch player.
His wife?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Just... You know, you just watch some kids and you're just like, they're just going to win. They're just going to find a way to win. And I just think we spoke about the big occasion, Latrell Mitchell, Friday afternoon. Jerome Luai would know that Mitchell Moses is coming back and all the talk is, him and Cleary and all that kind of stuff. I love what the Tigers are doing. I've got to reward that. I can't just keep chopping and changing and not believe it. At some stage, I've got to drink the juice.
I'll back that. I'm going Parramatta, but by the way, what about this Parramatta reserve grade forward pack this week?
What's
Front
going on with Bryce Cartwright and that?
Front row is Ryan Madison and Joe Offengawi. Brendan Hands is at 9. The edges are Sean Lane and Bryce Cartwright, and then the captain in jersey 13 is Dan Kerr. So the skipper has the least experience in first grade of all the forward pack.
What's the first grade forward pack?
I will get that up for you now.
Because that left edge with Lane out.
Kelma Tuolangi's back in the side.
Yeah. Is he on the left or right?
I would assume so. In saying that Katoga, he played left edge in the trials at the start of the year, and Kelma was with Mitch. I just wonder if maybe...
Yeah, but Kelma missed 10 in the trials, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't have him there, but it just seems odd to me to bring him back this week. I wonder if that's potentially been a Mitch
if
call.
Lomax was back this week with Mitch Moses,
Yep.
I can see a way.
So the forward pack is Jack Williams, Riley Smith, Junior Paulo, Kelma, Katoga, and Jermaine Hopgood in the 13.
Mate, that forward pack for the Tigers, this is your week, Tigers.
Mate, when you have a look, when you compare it to that Cup bench, to that Cup starting side.
If they played
Eels
each other, who would win?
Well, mate, the Eels bench is Dill Walker, who's of it. Yeah, he deserves that spot 100%. But then Moretti, Dury, and Tuivati, you're leaving some talent out of that side. That's not getting a feature on that bench.
Bryce Cartwright had his best season last year, didn't he?
Yeah, I think Bryce is one of those guys. He can be. It doesn't shock me that Bryce Cartwright isn't a Jason Riles guy. Oh. You would know more about Riles than me, but it doesn't
I know more about Cardi. He played with Cardi.
Yeah.
But again, are we trying to play like Melbourne without Melbourne players? Or are we trying to play like Parramatta? Last year, Cardi was offloading and he played tough in spots, and I thought definitely this year he could hold down an edge.
Tea leaves to me early parts of the season. I don't reckon Bryce Cartwright plays first grade for the Eels again.
Oh, he'd be a good pickup at the Tigers.
Yeah, fucking great. He'd be a great pickup in a number of clubs. But yeah, mate, he's not even putting him on extendeds. He was coming off the bench.
Who else
in
could
the
use
Cup a few
Bryce?
weeks ago. Oh, mate, I reckon Bryce would be such a good guy to, you can obviously play him on the edge. He could play 13 for you. I reckon just coming off the bench, I'd love to have Bryce Cartwright just to inject him.
Tigers,
yeah. Mate, I think the list of guys that wouldn't be better with Bryce Cartwright is shorter than the ones that, if you got a decent coach and can get the best out of Bryce, it's fucking sky's the limit.
He's older now too. He's played a lot of footy where he's been in and out, and had that great offload, that selection, stuff like that. I think mate, it's weird.
I reckon to this day, Cardi is at worst top 5 best juniors I've ever seen play.
He's very good. I've seen some juniors. The most naturally gifted person that I saw come through and that could play anywhere was Tyrone Peachy.
Ty Peach, yeah. I'd have, at that age, I think Jack Bird was right fucking up there as well.
Yeah.
He was incredible.
Yeah, but Peach could play, mate, anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd sort of have Jack Bird in the same sort of... Man, I remember the first time I ever saw Peachy or like the first time I saw him properly live, he was playing for the Sharkies. You'll appreciate this. Do you remember that year the Sharkies, their cup side merged with Melbourne?
Yep.
They wore a Sharks jersey with a purple
Yep.
V on the front of it. I'll never forget, he made a half break. He got ankle tapped. He somersaulted out of it and kept fucking going.
Yeah.
I just remember sitting there going, what the? Never.
He used to wear the big
Not very often you
chest guard.
see something on a rugby league field you've never seen before and you haven't seen since. Peachy, one of those dudes.
I'd never seen anyone, when he came to Penrith, I'd watched him play at Cronulla and then saw that try. But just his feel for different spots. He could take the ball to the line, he could play centre, he could play 9, he could play 1. I think he played 1 against the Titans when we were out at Penrith one day. And then you watch him at the knockout this year. That's my favourite footy, is watching the knockout because it's so raw and naturally gifted stuff. But he's by far the most naturally talented person that can play anywhere in your side that I've played with.
Did you ever play in the halves with him? Like, were you ever the halves, two of you?
Mate, a couple of my halves played. I saw Will Smith the other day, actually.
I like Will Smith. I think he should have played more first grade.
Yeah.
What's Will Smith doing?
I think he's playing up in Newcastle.
Okay.
Yeah, still running
He
around.
was a good player.
He still looks 23, mate. He's a good-looking cat, too.
Yes. Yeah.
Very fit. Not like his halves partner. I had Cardi, I had Peachy, I had Will Smith, I had Wall, Moiser, Tomato Martin.
You know, Moyes is one of my favourite players ever.
Mate, that year he had in 2014,
It's fucked.
it was ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Absolutely
people
ridiculous.
just choose to forget. His body just didn't do him any favours, but fuck, Moyes was talented.
Well, then he transformed into a 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always thought with the right halves he was a 1 because he could put himself in positions and do things that other people couldn't. But you're right, his body.
I'll always stand by Moyes from sort of like 18 to 22. I think he was like the closest thing we saw to what Darren Lockyer was at the same age. He was like the similarities, and people laugh at that and give shit to Moyes and whatever, but like the similarities between the two at that age were just fucking ridiculous.
Mate, talk about Silky out the
He
back.
was captaining that mob at 22 or something,
Yeah.
wasn't he? Fucking unbelievable. That. Were you in the game where he kicked the goal from the sideline?
Yeah, Bulldogs.
Yeah, I was there in the grandstand. I think I cried genuinely.
Yeah.
You scored off a forward pass as well, you dogs.
No. Now, I'll tell you what happened. Josh Reynolds, I think, set one up off the scrum. I defended on the wing or something shit, and Ivan blew up at me about that because I don't defend on the wing. I don't know why. Anyway, I threw a cutout pass to Kevin Aguama,
Yeah.
and Kevy scored, and then I'd had some trouble with my back at that stage, so Moiser kicked it right to left instead of left to right, swung it back in, and we won the game. Beautiful pass. This was a good pass for me.
Forward.
Oh, please, mate. You know, the only people that ever say that I throw those cutout passes forward are the people that can't fucking throw them. And if you
Take me out
know
the back, I'll throw
who
some with
Winston
you.
with a Y is, that's why he said it's forward, because he could not throw it.
Oh, Winston.
I see it all the time. People go, "Oh, that's forward." You're like, it's okay that you can't throw 30 metres. It's fine. It's perfectly normal because not everyone can do it. Left to right or right to left. It's fine.
Oh, Winston. Drive-bys have been fantastic. I love it. All right, Neds this week. My multi for this weekend, I've got Reece Walsh bouncing back to score against the Warriors. $1.94 there. I have got Iongi. Can't wait to see him get some good ball with Mitchy Moses. He's at $2.90. And my play for this week, AJ Brimson's at $3.25. I love the way that AJ Brimson is just throws himself into the attack, kicks for himself, goes a little bit rogue. I think they're going to have to do that, the Titans, to be able to break down this Raiders side. So Reece Walsh, AJ Brimson, Iongi, $18.28 on Neds. You can jump onto the Guru profile or the Guru page there on the Neds app. Follow along with all of our bets, along with all the guys on the About Even app. From About Even on the Neds app this weekend. So jump on there and follow. Winston, thank you for joining us once again, legend. Cat's going to be available for selection next week, but we'll have to have some discussions. Might get some of the senior
What's
players to
reserve
come in
grade
and
here?
decide who gets picked.
What's reserve grade here?
Bye round. See you later. Thanks for coming, Cat.
Don't fight me, James Graham.
Yeah, I'll be fucking hiding in the hallway. I'm very tough behind this wall. No, thank you, mate. We appreciate it over the last 2 weeks. Been unreal.
No worries.
Good to see you too, mate.
Yeah, it's good.
Now, you are interstate next week.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
We'll
Jeez,
see
I've got to have some
live
tough
feed.
conversations this week. This will be good.
If
We'll
Kat
work it
can
out.
come up with it with a live
Yeah,
feed,
if Kat can work out how
we're going to be
how
able
we
to do it. If not,
we'll find a way.
we'll find a way.
We'll find a way. And in the Roo Crew as well, we put up an advertisement today. We are going to be doing a live show here in the CBA Centre of Excellence on a Super Saturday over the next few weeks. Tickets will only be going live to Roo Crew members, though. So get yourself in there if you want to come and join us here. Super Saturday, beers, pizzas.
No phones, unfiltered soured
fuck yeah.
after 6. Just aggressive. Just think, if you're like, oh, I wonder what Sowie's like with no phones and on the piss. Just think Steve Maddie 2008 with the line speed. All right?
We're going to have a lockbox at the front door to put your phones
Oh,
in.
mate, it's going to be... We're going to do a live show.
No dog and but yeah, live show, Q&A. Be good.
Yeah.
Ask anything you want.
Ask anything you want.
Get weird.
Yeah.
Love that.
The weirder, the better.
Weirder the better.
There's only a certain amount of tickets too, because the CBA...
Yeah, they're...
It's not the Penrith Centre of Excellence.
No, it's
it doesn't
not.
fit
No, it's not.
200.
It's a select few.
So it's getting...
Get in quick. There'll be details in the Roo Crew. Links down in the description if you would like to join. And yeah, we'll see you soon. Pizzas that night. What's your like?
Oh, you're going to hate this. I knew this was coming up. Winston texts me. He goes, mate, he's going to ask you about your pizza.
So I think there'll be crust pizzas.
Yes.
I don't know if you're a crust guy, but I'm a huge crust guy.
So
So
that'll
the
be
St. George Illawarra Dragons, apparently.
Discount.
Yeah, the Dragons. That's why they won on the weekend. Got stuck to some crust. Yeah, shout out to Crust. We'll be hooking you up.
Yeah.
Reaching out to you.
Crust, you reach out to us. All right. Someone from
pizza.
Crust, you want to sponsor the CBA, you reach out to us.
What's your choice?
It's been the same since I was being a kid, and I
Yeah.
don't vary from it very often.
Okay.
Pepperoni and cheese.
I can
That's it.
get around it.
That's
I think
it.
it's childish, but I can get around it. I think
here
you
we
need to
go.
add a bit of
Here
creativity
we
to
go.
your life, but I can get around it.
Let me guess. Meat lovers supreme with everything.
Peri peri chicken.
Oh, gross!
It's the best.
Mate, if I wanted a buttered chicken, I'd go down to one of the million
Yeah.
Indian restaurants in
Don't know
the
what you're
city
talking about.
and just say, mate, give me some naan bread and some buttered chicken. You having it on a pizza? That's criminal.
Per, you don't have the slightest idea what you're talking about.
My wife will love that. She loves peri peri.
Mrs. does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She won't be here.
For once, she's got good taste.
Oh, please.
All right, that'll do us. We'll see you next week.
Sir Nathan.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website